Oh, man, we've heard a lot of talk this week, guys, about the Cleveland Browns and the Cincinnati Bengals. Obviously, things look a lot different for both of these teams than they did even a couple of weeks ago. The Cincinnati Bengals in most spots, 5.5-point favorites with a total of 46.5. Brad, the Cincinnati Bengals have that look once again, right? The offense looks like it did. It's not a huge surprise when you have Jamar Chase back healthy and giving them a third significant receiving option. I think what's notable is that defense last week played a lot better than we had seen. DJ Reader back in against the run, and they held up fairly well without Chidobe Awuzie. I have no idea what to make of the Browns coming off last week. Watson did not look good against the Houston Texans, but the Houston Texans are so bad that the Cleveland Browns scored 21 points without their offense. Do you expect better out of Cleveland this week?
Well, that's the tricky thing, isn't it? Watson was bad. He was rusty last week. I think he had the third worst on-target throw percentage in the NFL last week. And he came out and admitted, I was rusty. And he said, some of the sort of coverages that the Texans were throwing at him confused him, some of the adjustments before the snap. And the Houston Texans play about the most bland defensive scheme you've got. They just play Tampa 2 most of the time. So, now he's getting a Bengals defense, which is very well coached, very well organized. They played together for a long time, and they will disguise a lot of stuff. So I'm more inclined to think we get another bad Watson performance. But it's just quite like how quick do you shake off 2 years of rust? I don't know, really. So that's what makes this whole thing tricky. I would say one potential way to look at it is maybe like a Browns first half, Bengals second half, because I think the Bengals have covered 18 of their last 21 second halves, just because of the adjustments they make at halftime, especially on the defensive side, whereas the Browns script is generally quite good at the start of games. So that could be one way into this, but it's not one I've bet personally.
Yeah, Stephen, we've talked quite a bit on this podcast about the Cincinnati Bengals defensive adjustments at halftime and what that's meant for them throughout the year. Joe Burrow has absolutely looked the part for the last couple of weeks here. The Cincinnati offense against this Cleveland defense is where I'm focused. I haven't played this game. However, let's not forget, just because Houston wasn't doing a lot offensively, how bad this Cleveland defense has been all year long. They've been in the bottom 5 in just about any metric that you'd like to pick. That being said, a lot has been made in the talkie head space this week about Joe Burrow not having beaten the Cleveland Browns in his young career yet. Do you put anything into that?
To be quite honest with you, Adam, that's what I can't figure out this week, because you're right. On paper, the Browns D has been terrible, and I don't really care what they did against the Texans last week. I just draw a line through that. Kyle Allen is sub NFL level backup quarterback, but I can't figure out if this is the Browns defense we've seen most of the year that's been terrible, or if they just have some kind of game plan that works against Joe Burrow, because it's not just this past game that they've played against them where he was sacked 5 times and they lose to the Browns by 19, but even going back past couple of years, sack 5 times, lose by 25, sack 4 times, lose by 3, sack 3 times, lose by 5. I'm stuck in the middle on this one. It's a stay away for me. I would have been interested in Cleveland if this one moved to 6.5 or 7, but it's starting to come back the other way now. So it's clear. Take away my opinion, whatever. I'm stuck in the middle. I can't figure it out. For what it's worth, the market thinks there's something to that, because money has come in on Cleveland and moved this from 6 to 5.5.
Brad, after that performance by Kyle Allen last week, are you guys still allowing him to come for Christmas? No. Okay. Apparently, Brad says we cannot have Kyle Allen at Christmas anymore. He's no longer invited to the Allen family. It's completely understandable, by the way, after what we saw.